Good day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, trainers of all ages, and welcome back to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Noki, and you're here once again for another lesson of Pok-Education on Noki Jr. Today, we seek to analyze and answer the question of what are legendary Pokemon. These incredibly rare and powerful Pokemon are most often spoken of through myths and legends, most of which are not officially known to exist to the general public of the Pokemon world. Quite often in their lore, these Pokemon take on the personification of the natural forces observed throughout the world, much like the Greek and Roman gods and goddesses of our very own world. Now, legendary Pokemon is a pretty broad term that describes various subcategories of these rare, powerful, and unusual creatures. These subcategories include pseudo-legendary, general legendary, mythical, and even ultra beasts. Though some debate among Pokemon professors still contests their complete inclusion among these categories. For the purposes of today's discussion, we will be focusing on specifically general legendary Pokemon. And there is a huge difference with how these Pokemon are portrayed between the games and the anime. In the games, these Pokemon are typically stationary, found in specific late-in-the-game locations, though some have been known to be roaming at times, namely the trios of birds and beasts, Latias and Latios, and a few others. Tied primarily into the overall storyline and historical events of the game, these Pokemon are usually being used by the evil team of these games in order to enact their regional or sometimes global agendas. And it is implied that only one of its kind exists to be captured in the wild, though throughout many of the generations it is showcased that others do indeed exist, as various trainers that you can encounter are seen possessing these tremendous Pokemon. And not only that, but when you consider the known Pokemon timelines that do exist and how they fit together, it would seem there are multiples of quite a few legendaries that appear simultaneously in different regions at the same time or nearly the same time. Most legendary Pokemon are classified to have an unknown gender and are unable to breed. However, a few known exceptions to this general rule would include the known genders of Latios and Latias, Heatran, Cresselia, and the Forces of Nature trio, Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus. Though there definitely are no general legendary Pokemon that are capable of breeding. As another basic understanding, there are only a few of these Pokemon that are even capable of evolving. These are type Null, Cosmog, and the recently revealed Kubfu, along with their respective evolutionary lines. There are various others that are capable of changing form, fusing with other legendaries, or are included as part of a duo or trio of similar Pokemon. And now moving over to the anime, where these legendary Pokemon are primarily premier Pokemon, usually the main focal point to each of the animated movies, though also balanced by the presence of a mythical Pokemon as well. Typically, in the animated world, legendary Pokemon are worshipped as godlike beings by various groups of people and sought after by nefarious actors in the Pokemon world for their raw power. Initially explained as extremely rare Pokemon in the earlier seasons, leading many people to speculate that much like the games, there were only one of that given Pokemon in the wilds. Though in later seasons, this was revealed to be incorrect, portraying many trainers wielding these immensely powerful mons in battle, as well as a few of those legendaries even being shown to bear offspring, something that is entirely unheard of in the games. And throughout the animated series, it is expressed quite often that only trainers with a pure heart or a certain caliber in battle are worthy of training or sometimes even seeing these legendary Pokemon. Throughout all 8 of the generations and their respecting regions, there have been 894 Pokemon species in total. Of these species, only 52 are general legendary Pokemon. From Kanto, the legendary bird trio, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, along with Mewtwo. From Johto, the legendary beasts, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, along with Lugia and Ho-Oh. In Hoenn, we have Regirock, Regice, and Registeel, Latias, Latios, Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza. Sinnoh brought us Uxie, Mesbrit, Azelf, Dialga, Palkia, Heatran, Regigigas, Giratina, and Cresselia. Unova's legendary Pokemon included Cobalion, Terrakion, Virizion, Tornadus, Thundurus, Landorus, Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem. And then, out of Kalos, we got Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde. Alola, including type Null and Silvally. The Tapus, Koko, Lele, Bulu, and Finny. Cosmog, Cosmoem, Solgaleo, and Lunala, as well as Necrozma. And then for the most recent region of Galar, we got Zacian, Zamazenta, Eternatus, and then the upcoming Kubfu, Urshifu, and Calyrex. As well as, of course, all of these Pokemon's various forms and regional variants. Legendary Pokemon are ultimately paramount to the overall mythos and lore of the Pokemon world. Much like the gods and goddesses of our own world, these legendary Pokemon drive the storytelling that help the people of the Pokemon world really come to grips and understand the natural world and how it works around them. And although these Pokemon are definitely some of the most powerful and rarely seen in the entire Pokemon world, it does look more and more with each passing generation that legendary Pokemon are becoming a lot more commonplace in the Pokemon world. I genuinely hope that you enjoyed this look at legendary Pokemon. And if you did, that you'll consider dropping a max knuckle all over that like button. And while you're there, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on all of my daily content. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, this has been Professor Noki signing out once again for Noki Jr.